All right, it's time to draw some more YouTubers. That's right, plural, two. We're going to draw two. We're going to draw a couple. Sit back and check it out. What is up, blind viewers? All right, how is everybody doing today? Now, I'm going to apologize for the length of this one. It is quite lengthy, but come on. You're getting 2 for 1. You can't complain, can you? I'm sure somebody will. That's right, 2 for 1. Now, anybody that knows these folks, watches their channel, they're going to know who it is right away. Very distinct looking folks. You're going to know exactly who it is again right away in a few minutes here if you don't already. Now, I wanted to draw these folks because I really enjoy their channel, but the first thing is okay, this dude has a disability. You're going to do a caricature where you take features and traits that they have and you exaggerate them and kind of not make fun, but let's face it, make fun a little bit. So, how do you do that and not offend the entire planet? Is YouTube gonna blow up? Or the PC police gonna kick down my door because I made fun of a dude with a disability? Oh, yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go over, but to hell with it. I wanted to do it, so I'm doing it. And if anybody at all would get it and understand and have a good laugh, it would be Shane. That's right, it's Shane and Hannah, otherwise known as Squirmy and Grubs. Yeah, I really enjoy these folks. I enjoy them a lot. But first of all, if I ever do a couple again, I don't think I'm going to do it like this. If I do a couple, it's going to have to be 2 different drawings because, well, the size paper that I do use is pretty much as big as I can go. I can probably go maybe a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's hard to scan around and still see enough to know where placement, proportions, and all that stuff is. Because when you can't see, but through a tiny little scope, basically, it's hard to look around without being able to see the majority of the paper and know what you're doing, where you're putting things, and is it lining up? Is it the right size? And all other stuff. That's why, as you can see, and actually some people say that I trace. Oh, I thought he was a good artist until I noticed that he traces. I ain't tracing shit, first of all. Those little light lines, I put there. I drew them. I didn't trace nothing. It's just the lightest color that I'm going to use, which is usually in these, it's the skin tone. I even outlined the hair in a skin tone, the lightest skin tone that I'm going to use. That way, if I color this whole thing in, I'm going to use that lightest skin tone pretty much on the entire face. So, if I put a line in there, and as I'm going, I see that I need to move it, I just move it, and it's not going to affect anything because that little light skin tone, it's going to be there anyway. Now, those eyebrows and those eyes and the eyelashes, yeah, they ain't moving now. They're there. There's no way to move them. But yeah, so anybody who thinks I trace, well, you can suck it. I ain't tracing anything. But yeah, it's kind of hard to look around and see. And not only now am I trying to get proportions and scale and everything right with a face, now I have to do it with another face beside it. And it's too hard to keep looking over, and I don't know, it's rough. But I muddled through because I enjoy these guys and I wanted to draw it. I wanted to get it down on paper. Immortalize these folks in the BlindViews fashion. But yeah, Squirmy and Grubs. I've talked about them once or twice before on my channel here. I really enjoy them. It's not an oh woe is me channel. You think, oh man, this dude, he's stuck in a wheelchair. He's got, this affliction, this disease, this disability, whatever you want to call it. Where he has very little muscle, basically. Hard to hold his head up, move his head, and do everything. And so yeah, he's stuck in a wheelchair. And so you'd think, oh, it's an oh woe is me channel. I'm not interested in that. But I'll tell you what, the dude is so upbeat, so uplifting, and funny. Hannah's funny as well. When these two get together, now they are a couple, which is funny in its own right, because people often, they talk about this, but people often say, oh, look at that nice lady with her poor little disabled son. Or, he has a pretty nurse. And Shane will even tell stories about how they're somewhere and guys will just go over and hit on Hannah, because she is pretty. But they'll go over and hit on Hannah when Shane's sitting right there, because they think she's his nurse or his caregiver. Or, again, some will say, hey, how long has your son been in a wheelchair, and stuff like that. But they tell some awesome stories, and it is so funny. They are hilarious. He makes her laugh all the time, and she has this giant toothy grin, and when he really gets her laughing, her gums show, because she really starts to smile. So that's what I exaggerated on her. But yeah, they tell some wild stories. The one that always comes to mind is a nice hot summer day, and they went to out to eat, and they had some seafood, and they went back to I forget, parents' house, some relative's house, and they were swimming in the pool. And Shane has a little floaty that he has, but Hannah got the bubble guts and had to run to the bathroom, and before they even got in the pool. But anyway, she put him in the pool, and Shane is in there by himself. She's in taking care of her emergency business, looking through the window, seeing that he's tipping over and getting ready to go under. But the way they tell a story, I mean, it is so funny. They both laugh, and Shane is just hilarious. He is a funny dude, funny dude. Another one is there's a little boy who has the same thing that Shane has, and they meet up every once in a while. But they met up at this accessible park playground thing, where even though they're in wheelchairs, they can still run around, go up in little bridges. They have swings that they can get in the wheelchairs and still swing and seesaw and all kinds of stuff, man. So these guys were gonna go meet up at this place and go run around and have some fun. But on the way in the car, Shane, he's sitting there and he puts on his little sad face and he goes, but what if none of the other kids want to play with me? What if they think I'm different? I don't know. What if they... But he's funny. And he can only do it so long, then he starts laughing. And of course, Hannah's laughing. But yeah, that's the kind of channel it is. It isn't I have a disease, send me money, help me, oh, woe is me, I can't do it. No, it's very, very not what you would expect. At least it's not what I expected. And I think it's a great channel. I look forward to their posts because those two, both of them, they are so, so funny. And even these guys, of course, you're on the internet, you're on YouTube. I actually found a channel that is their hate channel. It's all about, this is fake, their relationship is fake. He had another girlfriend, she was beautiful, and this girl's really pretty, and he pays these people, and they're not his girlfriend, they're this, they're that, and it's all just about, no, this is fake, that's fake, and I don't know what the whole big story is and why this person or why anybody would feel the need to just spend all their weight, and that's all his channel is about. He has no other videos, it's just that. Why he would spend every waking hour trying to debunk some dude with a disability that happens to have a pretty girlfriend. Nope, it can't be, because I'm normal and girls hate me. So this can't be true. I'm going to spend all my waking hours trying to debunk this. Oh, the pitiful people we find anyway. Anyway. But yeah, it's a great channel, man. And anybody who hasn't checked it out yet, go over and check them out, man. Squirmy and Grubs. But there we go. I got Hannah's big toothy smile. A little bit of gum showing there. And of course I did exaggerate, her mouth isn't that big. And one of these days I'll talk about how I do hair, because it is a pretty lengthy process. Many layers. That's what this is all about. Layers. Detail. What to put in, what not. And then the other thing is try and find a photo reference, a good photo reference, because you can't just sit down and go, oh yeah, I remember what they look like, and just draw. No, you got to look at something. And so trying to find a good photo reference is probably the first step and the hardest one. Actually, it's harder than drawing them, because you got these people that are either in the dark and you can't tell what color their eyes are, all their features are, everything's in a shadow. Or you have the other extreme where everything's all lit up, blown out, washed out, and it's basically just a big white spot with two eyes, a little dot where an indication of a nose is, and then a mouth. And that's pretty much all you can see. There's quite a few people that I would like to draw, but I cannot find anything. Most of them. There's one person in particular I've been searching. I even went over to their Instagram and everything trying to look for a photo, and the photos are all blown out. There's nothing to draw. There isn't a line around the eye. There isn't a crease in the nose. There isn't a cheek, indication of a cheek. It's just a plain white, flat, washed out face with a mouth, two eyes, and just a little line where the nose is. So that's the big hard part. And then this one, not only do I have one person, but I have two people, and they're sitting side by side. Most of the time I go through and I scrub through YouTube videos, and if I'm watching, I'll go, oh, that would be a good one. So I go to the video and I try to get a good freeze frame. And if you don't think that's hard, go ahead, try it. Watch someone's video where they're just sitting there, just a talking head video, where they're sitting there talking, and then just randomly just pause it and see what you get. Squinty eyes looking down, mouth all curled up because they're speaking and you caught them mid-sentence and they're looking all, yeah. It is hard to find a good picture where people are not making a goofy face, their eyes are open and they're smiling, or their mouth's just closed normal, when they're not in mid-sentence, blinking, or, yeah. It's a fun game to play. You should try it. Oh man, what a nightmare sometimes. And then again, I'm watching a video where I have two people talking, and I have to get a still where neither one of them are making a goofy face. I do get usually at least three pictures for reference, and I get them at different angles. I usually draw straight on. But even if I don't, I usually get at least three, so I can see, from the front you really can't tell, but you get that side view, you can see how far their nose sticks out, if their eyes are sunken in or not, if their bottom lip protrudes a little bit, and all that good stuff. So it's good to get different views, and you compile them all the information from all of them to make your finished product. I've mentioned this before, but I often get eye color wrong because, again, looking at photo reference, hey, most of them, everybody has brown eyes. I don't care what color your eyes are, with the lighting that I see and everything, everybody got brown eyes. So I get it wrong sometimes. Sometimes if someone's a blonde, I just assume they have green or blue eyes. If they have dark hair, I always assume they have brown eyes, unless I see otherwise. But yeah, it's kind of hard to find something. You want something with a good natural light, something that has a light source that's not overexposed or anything, because you want that, you want those shadows. You want things to fall across the plane of the face to highlight the one side of the nose and have the other side in shadow. You want that. That's what you need. And then I always look for a photo that I think represents the way that I see these folks, For instance, is the Ruthie D. When I did Ruthie D, I prefer, and I always think of Ruthie with her hair down. And there's not a lot. There's not a whole lot, but most of the time she has her hair pulled back or something like that. So I wanted to find one with her hair down because that's the way I see and perceive Ruthie. And then I had to get one with the Ruthie smile and the eyes that I, wanted to capture the essence of the person. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You got to find those photos that capture the essence that you see in that person. And again, that's the first step, and most often the most difficult part of this whole thing. So with Hannah, I wanted to get that big toothy smile with the gums and everything, and the nice cheeks. She always wears, well, not always, but she's an ear tucker. She usually tucks one side of her hair behind her ear, and then the other side she'll pull some over, tuck it behind her ear, even if the rest of it's over her ear and everything, but she always tucks under the ear. So it's just little things like that you got to try to get. And then with Shane, what I did with him was he looks a lot younger than he really is. So when I did him, one of the exaggerations was I made him look really boyish. I kept a young, boyish look to him, and I kind of he does have a long chin, but I made it even longer. So when you do things like that, you kind of think of it as a piece of clay. If you have something that's, a certain size and you want to stretch it out, well, you don't get any more mass than you have. You have to work with what you have in your head. So if you're going to stretch the face down and elongate it, that means where does all that mass come from? You have to pinch it in and squeeze it in. If you want to, stretch their cheeks out and make them even really bigger and rounder, and then you have to get that mass from somewhere, so you make their head smaller and squishier and boxier. So it's basically you work with what you have. So if you want to stretch it, it's going to thin it out. So that's what I did. I pulled his chin way down and sunk his cheeks in. Not sunk them in, but his cheeks are rounder. His face is more fuller. But pulling the chin down and making it longer and squeezing his face in some, that even helped more with giving more of that boyish look. I did get his scar, his eyebrow. Noticed that, so I left that there. And I didn't do too much around the eyes, because once you start doing that around eyes, it ages people real quick. I exaggerated his ears a little bit. He does have pretty big ears, and his earlobes are really big and round. He has some tousled hair most of the time, little flyaways and everything. He often mentions that too, and gets Hannah to fix it for him and stuff. But yeah, so I did some exaggerations on both. I think they turned out pretty good. So again, if you guys have not gone over, and it ain't like they need my help or anything by mentioning them, but Yeah, they have plenty of subs, plenty of views. They have a giant channel, but they are awesome. They always make me laugh. And it's just like Neil, no legs, no problem TV. He's not a whiner. He's got shit he's got to overcome, and that's exactly what he did. He overcame it, and he still does everything that he can do. He RVs, he camps, he does jiu-jitsu, he builds shit, he does whatever he can. He just, adapt and overcome. And that's the way Shane is. He doesn't cry, whine, he just handles it. So go check them out, man. And funny, oh man, their videos are hilarious. And there you go. Squirmy and Grubs. There's the photo reference that I used for this one. You can see Hannah's big toothy smile, seeing them gums. Again, Shane does have a long chin, but I pulled it way down and stretched it out. So there you go, guys. I hope you like this one. I had fun doing it. Come on back, because you never know who I'm going to draw next now, do ya?
What we do here is go back.
Loud.